Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahlan wa anta taj'alul husna idha shi'ta sahlan. Before we start the paper, we ask Allah Ta'ala to help us. We will be doing February March 2021 058022. The first question that we have over here is the diagram. Complete the statement. The diagram has a rotational symmetry of order. It has a rotational symmetry of order 2. Now the reason being, if I were to rotate this diagram, it would be like this, and if I were to rotate it again, the diagram would be like this. So as you can see, this is a complete rotational symmetry of order 1. Then again I will rotate the diagram. Let me make things easier for you. This is how the diagram is. I rotate it one time, it becomes like this. Then I rotate it another time, it becomes like this, exactly in its original position. So this makes it rotational symmetry of order 1. Then I rotate it again, and then I rotate it again, it comes back to its original shape. So when it has rotational symmetry of order 2. 2 times it comes back to its original shape. Moving on to our next question, it says on the diagram draw the line of symmetry. Symmetry is basically when things overlap each other. As you can see my hands in the video, my hands are like this. If I place them like this, I overlap them, they are completely symmetrical. Each point lands on the next one. So if I were to draw a line like this point will go on to this point, and this point will go on to this point. It means it completely overlaps, so it will become a complete triangle like this. So it has this is the line of symmetry. You get 2 marks. Moving on to the next question, it says Sahil and Anika share $78 in the ratio 5:8. Calculate the amount each receives. Very simple. I will break this process down into steps. Step 1 is you calculate the total ratio, which is 5 plus 8. 5 plus 8 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So write 13. Now it says what ratio is Sahil getting? 5. Step 2. Sahil is getting 5 out of 13. And what's the total amount? It's 78. So simply what you will do? 5 multiplied by 78 divided by 13. So Sahil basically gets $30. As for Anika, just do 8 upon 13 multiplied by 78. This turns out to be 8 multiplied by 78 divided by 13, 48.
1 second, sir. Can I cross check it?
Moving on to question number 3, it says the diagram of passengers of the bus is recorded each day for 14 days. Okay? So basically the key, it is always important to notice the key. 1-5 basically means 15. So basically you always start in ascending order. Start with the smallest number. So basically if you look at it, let's cut it down. First one is 15. Then you have 17. Then you have 18. You just write 8 because 1 is already there. Then you have 19. And then you have another 19. Now let's go on to the second one, 2. So the smallest is 22. So you just write 2. Then you have 24. So you just write 4. Then you have another 24. Just write 4. Then you have 25. So just write 5 and 29. Moving on to 3. Smallest number is 31. So just write 1. Then the number is 35. Just write 5. Then the number is 36. And then the number is 38. Acha, median. Median basically refers to the middle number. So we will use a formula n plus 1 divided by 2. N is basically 14. So 14 plus 1 divided by 2 is 15 upon 2, which is 7.5. 7.5 is not the answer. Don't make this mistake of writing 7.5 the answer. 7.5 basically means the 7th and the 8th number. So this is the first number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8th. So it's going to be 24 plus 24 divided by 2. Answer is 48 divided by 2. It's again 24. The reason why I showed this working is if the numbers were different, 24 and 25, you would still have to repeat the process. So the answer is 24. Moving on to question number 4, it says by writing each number correct to one significant figure, find an estimate value of, they have given the question. One significant figure means the first number. So the first number is 2.8. After 2, you have the number 8. Therefore, since 8 is greater than 5, you will add 1 to 2. So this becomes 3. 82.6. 82.6. 8 is the first significant number. After 8, you have 2. 2 is a number which is less than 5. So 8 will remain as it is. So it will become 80 upon 30 minus 10. This turns out to be 24, 240 I mean, 240 upon 20. 0 zeros get cancelled out. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So your answer is 12. Alright, moving on to the next question. It says the bowls of hot soup sold decreases when the temperature rises. Look, bowls is decreasing, bowls of soup is decreasing, and temperature is increasing. So basically this is negative correlation. When one thing is increasing, the other is decreasing. Negative correlation, or you can say negatively correlated correlation. Alright, moving on to question number 6. It says Joseph spends 5 upon 24 of 1 week's earnings to buy a jacket. The cost of the jacket is 56.5. Calculate the amount of money Joseph earns in a week. Very simple. Just write dollars and just write क्या कहते हैं ratio. It says that $56.50 is equivalent to 5 upon 24. Alright. We want to find how much Joseph earns. Because Joseph की earning is 24 upon 24. $24 out of $24. So Joseph basically earns this. This is the ratio of what Joseph earns. Alright. So now, what you can simply do is 56.50 multiply by 24 divided by 5. Alright, because this 5 represents 56.450 and we want to find how much total he earns. Just multiply this. You will be getting 56.5 multiply by 24 divided by 5. So Joseph basically earns $271.2. Moving on to question number 7. It says work without using a calculator. So simply 2 whole 1 upon 4 multiply by 3 whole 2 upon 3. 4 2s are and 2 1s are plus 1. So you multiply 4 with 2, you get 8, and 8 plus 1 is basically 9. So you get 9 upon 4 multiply by 3 3s are is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. You get 11 upon 3. Then you just simplify 3 1s are 3, 3 3s are 9. So 3 times 11 is 33 and 33 upon 4. Now some people find it very difficult to write it in mixed number. I'll tell an easy technique. Just write down the table of 4. 4 1s are is 4. 4 2s are is 8. 4 3s are is 12, right? All the way go up to 4 8s are is 32 and 4 9s are is 36. Now in 4's table you don't have the number 33. Which number do you have which is less than 33 but closest? It's 32. So you will write 8 whole 1 upon 4. How did I get 1? 33 minus 32. I got 32 from here. So that's how I get 1. Moving on, it says write 0.37 as a fraction. So basically you see these two dots on 3 and 1. Let me zoom it in a bit. Basically you see these two dots. Basically it means that the number is like this, 0.373737. What you do, you multiply it with 100. So assume that this number is x. So you multiply it with 100. 100x is equals to 37.3737. And subtract it with just x. So basically it means we are subtracting it with 0.37. 0.3737. If I subtract both sides of the equation, it becomes 99. X is equals to 37. So x is equals to 37 upon 99. Let's check this out as well. Let's put it in the calculator. 37 divided by 99. Look, even on the calculator, what does it? It gives 2 dashes on 37. So it's 0.373737. Moving on to question number 9. It's 4.8 multiplied by 10 to the power of 6 plus 3.7 multiplied by 10 to the power of 7. Try to take common. How can we take common if we make both the powers same? So if I place one decimal place back, it will become 0.48 multiplied by 10 raised to power 7 plus 3.7 multiplied by 10 raised to power 7. Now I can take 10 raised to power 7 as common. So it's going to be 0.8 plus 3.7 multiply by 10 raised to power 7. Now I'm going to add both of these numbers. So it's going to be 4.18 multiply by 10 raised to power 7. Moving on to our next question. On a map, the positions of towns L, M and N form an equilateral triangle. What does equilateral basically means? That all the sides of triangle are same. It's going to be 60, 60, 60. It says the bearing of M from L, basically this part, let me use a different color, this part is 103. Now the question says work out the bearing of L from N. Basically all the way we are going to make a line over here. It says L from N. So we have to calculate all the way till here. So moving on, let me erase it and make a better shape. Let me zoom it in a bit. So basically the question is asking you for this part. Let me use some lines. Alright, so now the question is saying all the way from here till here. Let's avoid some confusion. All the way from here till here, till this line. Now, as you can see that this part is half a circle, so this part is going to be 180 degrees. Now we have to answer the question, how much is this? So if you look at this shape, if you just look at this shape, it's a shape like this. Alright, this is L and this side is N. If this whole side, this whole thing, it's 103 plus 60, so that it's like 163. If this side is 163, this side is also going to be 163. That means this shape is 163. So your answer is going to be 180 plus 163, which makes the answer as 343 degrees. So that's how you get the bearing and you secure 2 marks. Moving on, it says find the highest common factor of 36 and 84. There are several ways to do it. The one which I personally prefer is this one. 36, 84, just divide them with the same common number. One of them is 2. So 18s are is 36 and 42s are. Then again divide it with 2. 9s are and 21s are. Then divide it with 3. 3 3s are 9 and 3 7s are. Now you cannot divide it any further with the same number. So the answer is going to be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. 2 2s are 4. 4 3s are is 12. Moving on to our next question. The diagram shows a shape made from a quarter circle OAB and a right angle triangle. The radius of the circle is 5 and OC is 6 cm. Alright. Calculate the area of the shape. This is a compound shape basically. One of the shape is a triangle. Alright, in order to, we will first find the area of the triangle. So area of the triangle is how much? Half into base into height, which is half. Base is 5, because if radius is 5, the base is going to be 5. Multiply by height. Height is 6. So this turns out to be 5 6 are 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. The second shape is basically a sector. If you look at it, the formula for area of sector is x upon 360 multiplied by pi r square. Now the students are likely to get confused. How will we find the x? Simple. If this side is 90 degrees, this is also 90 degrees. So x is going to be 90. So you do 90 upon 360 multiply by pi multiply by 5 square. Let's calculate it. 90 upon 360 multiply by shift pi multiply by 5 square. So the answer is 25 upon 4 pi. We are going to add 15 with 25 upon 4 pi. Let's add it as well. Plus 15. 34.634. So we can write it as 34.6. Question 13, it says the population of one variety of butterfly is decreasing exponentially at a rate of 34% per year. At the end of 2014, the population was 125.9 million. Look, whenever the question uses the term exponentially, just understand that this question is, the formula that will be used is of compound interest, which is A is equals to P multiplied by 1 plus R upon 100 raised to power n. Alright, now the question is saying at the end of 2014 the population was 125.9 million. This means P, alright, 125.9. So 1 plus rate is 34, alright, upon 100 raised to power n. N is basically 5. How did I know? Because they are asking for the population in 2019. So 2019 minus 2014, you will get 5. Now 125.9. In place of 1, you will just write 100 because LCM. Acha. Or rather than doing that, just simply, you can just plug it into the calculator. This whole thing. So let me write it down. Acha, one thing I just noticed is that the population is decreasing. Alright, so this not.
Yeah, that could be a minus sign.
So this is negative, right? So what we can do, we can take LCM as well, or we can simply plug it into the calculator. One of the ways is that if this is 1, we can write 1 upon 1. So this is going to be 100 minus 34 upon 100 raised to the power of 5. Or you can simply plug it into the calculator as well. Both will give you the same answer. So basically, once you solve it, this is going to be 15.766, and which, if you were to round it off, it will be 15.8. So that's how the population after the at the end of 2019 is going to be 15.8 million. If we were to look at question number 14, it says these are the first 4 terms of a sequence. Write down the next 2 terms. Whenever you have questions like these, just make an observation. If 29 minus 22 is basically 7, right? Minus 7 again. 22 minus 15, that's also 7, again minus 7. So the difference between each term is minus 7. Alright, so that means 8 minus 7 is going to be 1, and 1 minus 7 is going to be 6. So these are the next minus 6. So these are the next 2 terms of the sequence. Moving on to our next question, we have these are the first 5 terms of a sequence. First of all, we will try to find the difference between each of them. The difference is 3, 5, 7 and 9. As you can see that the difference is not constant. Now what we will be doing is that we will see the difference between these two terms, so that's going to be 2, 2 and 2. For questions like these, we will be basically using a formula. Alright, first of all, consider these as boxes, consider these as triangles, and consider these as stars. Okay, I've made star in such a way that you can't even see the number, so let me make it again, star. So first of all, we will try to find how we got 2. So that is 2a is equals to 2. 2a is equals to 2. So a is equals to 2 divided by 2. A is equals to 1. Now we will move on to this number, the star, the triangle. So that is 3a. Consider this number as b. 3a plus b is equals to 3. Alright. So if I place 1, because this is the first term, plus b is equals to 3. b is equals to 3 minus 3, b is 0. And then you have the last term, which is the star. It means a plus b plus c, because you have a plus b plus c is equals to 4, right? So the value of a is 1, the value of b is 0, and we are finding the value of c. So c is equals to 4 minus 1, so c is equals to 3. So the formula for GP, geometric progression, is an square plus bn plus c. Now we know that the value of a is 1, so we will write n square. We know that the value of b is 0, so we will cut it out. And we know that the value of c is 3. So the answer is going to be n square plus 3. Alright, moving on to the next question, number 15. The question basically says point E, F, G and H lie on a circle and EG is equals to EH. Alright, H, F and EG intersect. Moving out with the details, if you look at this question, first of all, 47. H is also going to be 47, reason being the alternate angle theory. Whenever you have a tangent and an angle like this, it is always equals to this opposite side. So this is how I got 47. Moving on, if you look at 25, basically this 25 is coming from F and G. And H is also coming from F and G. So this theory is angles in the same segment. So this side is going to be 25. So this whole thing is basically 47 plus 25, which is basically 72. Now if you look at this triangle, this is an isosceles triangle. So it means that if this side is 72, this side is also going to be 72. Alright. So we have to find the value of x. So 180 minus 72 minus 72. 180 minus 72 plus 72, I guess it's 144. And 180 minus 144 is 36. So that's how you find the value of x. Moving on to question number 16. In question number 16, you have been giving some inequalities and you have to make those inequalities. First of all, remember one thing. Whenever you have a question and it is just greater than, not greater than, equal to, you make dotted lines, a line like this. And if the question is like you have this sign beneath it, so you make full concrete lines. So the first part of the equation is y is greater than 1. Always remember that for y you make horizontal lines and for x you make vertical lines. So y is greater than 1 basically means this line. You make this line. Also, just a tip, always mention the line you make so that it makes your life easier. Y is greater than 1 means above 1. Moving on, it says y is less than 2x plus 2. 2x plus 2. So what we will do over here, we will just construct a graph. Let's say y is equals to 2x plus 2. Make a graph. Take two values. Let's say 0 and 1. So when x is 0, y is 2. And when x is 1, y is 4. So 0 comma 2, this point, and 1 comma 4 is actually this point. So you just construct the line like this. Unfortunately, I made a terrible line. Let's make it like this. My lines would be a bit out of shape since I don't have a scale right now with me. Acha. Secondly, the third equation is x plus y is less than equals to 3. So basically both the lines will intersect at 3. I have a ruler over here, so I'll use the ruler. That would make my work neat, tidy and clean. Let me just erase these lines. Where is the ruler? Here is the ruler. Yeah, this is good. So I just, yeah, this is good. Make the line like this. Dotted line once again, remember that. Acha. Lastly, it says x plus y is less than equals to 3. Both x and y intersected 3. Both x and y intersected 3. Then again, I'll need the ruler. I'll just switch it around and yeah. I'll make a concrete line this time, not a dotted line. Reason being because it says x plus y is less than 3. Now, if you were to read the question, it says x is greater than y, it means above this line. X is greater than y is greater than 1, it means above this line. Y is less than 2x plus 2. This was the line 2x plus 2. It means below this line and below this line as well. So this is the shaded region. This is the region R. Moving on to question 17, it says some students were asked how many books they each had in their school bags. The table shows the information. The mean number of the books is 7.6. Calculate the value of x. They have already told us mean. So the way to find mean is basically 5 multiplied by 4. We will multiply the number of books with frequency and add them up. 6 multiplied by 5 plus 7 multiplied by x plus 8 multiplied by 11 plus 9 multiplied by 7 and plus 10 multiplied by 5. And then you divide it with total frequency. Total frequency is how much? 4 plus 5 plus x plus 11 plus 7 plus 5. This is all equals to what? This is all equals to mean. Mean is equals to this. So mean is basically 7.6. Now we will add them all up. So 5 4s is 20 plus 6 5s is 30 plus 7x, because 7 multiplied by x is x. Then 8 plus 88 plus 7 9 7s is 63 plus 10 5s is 50 upon 4 plus 5 is 9. I'll just use a calculator because why not. 4 plus 5 plus 11 plus 7 plus 5, that's 32. That's 32x, and all of this is equals to 32 plus x, remember that, is equals to 7.6. Now let's just add them all up. 251 is equals to 7.6 multiplied by 32 plus x. So 251 is equals to 243.2 plus x. X is equals to 251 minus 243.2. Acha, I made a silly error over here. It's going to be 7.6x, alright, because 7.6 multiplied with x as well. So it's going to be 7.6x, remember that. Alright, 7.6 is going to multiply with x as well. So basically 7.6x is equals to 251 minus 243.2. So this is going to be 7.6x is equals to 7.8. 251 minus 243.2 is 7.8. X is equals to 7.8 divided by 7.6. Acha, I had made another error as well. This is just not going to be 251. I forgot to write down the 7x. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to erase all of this part and then do the working again to avoid all sorts of confusion.
Okay.
So basically this is equals to 7.6. When I add all the numbers 20 plus 30 plus 88 plus 63 plus 50, that's going to be 251 plus 7x is equals to 7.6 multiplied by 32 plus x. Now 251 plus 7x is equals to 7.6 multiplied by 32 is 243.2. 243.2 plus 7.6 multiplied by x is 7.6x. Now let's bring all the x's at one place. 251 minus 243.2 is equals to 7.6 minus 7. Alright, so this is going to be 7.8. 251 minus 243.2 is 7.8 is equals to, don't forget to add x, is going to be 0.6x. Alright, so now x is equals to 7.8 divided by 0.6, which is 13. So the value of x is 13. Moving on to this question, just simply plug it into the calculator. Just find the value of 343 raised to the power, just write down this, 2 upon 3. Since calculator is allowed, make your life easy. This becomes 49x, 9 multiplied by 2 upon 3, 3 1s are 3, 3 3s are 9. So 49x, 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Y is equals to 7 and x square plus y is equals to 149. Consider this as equation 1 and consider this as equation 2. Now we will use equation 1 to make equation 3. So this is going to be x is equals to 7 minus y. So this is your equation 7 plus y because we shifted y. So this is your equation 3. Now since we have made equation 3 from equation 1, we won't be using equation 1. Plug equation 3 into equation 2. Equation 2 is x square plus y is equals to 149. In place of x, write 7 plus y square plus y is equals to 149. 7 plus y square is basically 7 plus y square. This is an identity, a plus b whole square. So this is going to be 49 plus 14y plus y square. Alright, we have opened the identity, and then this plus y is equals to 149. This is going to be y square plus 14y plus y is 15y plus 49 minus 149 is equals to 0. Y square plus 15y minus 100 is equals to 0. Now tell me two numbers such that when I multiply I get minus 100 and when I add or subtract them I get plus 15. So let's say plus 20 minus 5. Y square plus 20y minus 5y minus 100 is equals to 0. Take common over here and take common over here. The common in the first one is y. So this goes to be y plus 20. Take minus 5 as common. This is also going to be y plus 20 is equals to 0. Take these two as common. So this is going to be y plus 20 bracket y minus 5. So the values of y are going to be y plus 20 is equals to 0, y is equals to minus 20. Second is going to be y minus 5 is equals to 0, y is equals to plus 5. So minus 20 plus 5. Now we need to find the values of x. We will use these values of y to find the value of x. So remember the second equation we made, x is equals to 7 plus y. Just plug in the values of y over here. X is equals to 7. In place of y, write minus 20. So x is equals to minus 13. And for the second one, it's going to be x is equals to 7 plus 5, because we are using the value of plus 5. X is equals to 13. So that's it. Moving on to our next question. It says triangle ABC is mathematically similar to triangle PQR. Find the value of x. Okay. So whenever you have similar triangles, you equate it. So 1.61 is equals to x and 2.8 is equals to 3.2. 3.2, you basically what you do now, you cross multiply. So this turns out to be 2.8 x is equals to 1.61 multiplied by 3.2. Alright. So x is equals to 1.61 multiplied by 3.2 divided by 2.8, which will give you an answer of x is equals to 1.84. Moving on to the next question, it says The diagram shows two mathematically similar bowls. The larger bowl has a capacity of 7.8 liters and the height of 11.5, okay, and 7.8. The smaller bowl has a capacity of 4 liters and height we don't know, we have to find height. Basically we will use a formula which is L1 V1 upon V2 volume of figure 1 upon volume of figure 2 is equals to L1 upon L2 whole cube. So if you look at the volume of figure 1, it's 7.8 and the figure of volume 2 is 4 is equals to the length height basically of figure 1 is 11.5 and the height of figure 2 is h, and you cube it basically. Alright, so 7 I'll divide it, 7.8 divided by 4, it's 1.95 is equals to, and what I'll do is I'll underroot it to make our lives easier. Why am I underrooting it? Basically because I need to remove this cube. So let me write it neatly. It's 1.95. 1.95 is equals to 11.5 upon h whole cube. I'll cube root both the sides. Cube root it. Alright, so shift answer, it's 1.2493. 1.2493 is equals to, both of these gets cancelled out, 11.5 upon h. H is equals to 11.5 divided by 1.2493. H will go up and 1.2493 will come down. So 11 divided by answer, so it's 8.80. So the height is 8.80. Alright, I did the recalculation again. 11.5 divided by 1.2493 is not 8.80, it's 9.20. Sorry for the calculation error. Moving on to the next question, it says on the x-axis sketch the graph of each of the following functions. Really easy, just assume the values. Alright, in order to make a graph, just write x upon y and just assume values. Let's say the first value of, let me make it a little smaller, or I'll just make it over here. Let's just say k x y. Let's assume values 0 1 and 0 1, or let's say -1 0 and 1. Alright, when the value of x is -1, the value of y is also -1. When the value of x is 0, the value of y is undefined. There is no graph, we can't make it. And when the value of x is 1, the value of y is also 1. So -1 comma 1, basically it's like this point, -1 comma 1, it's like this point, and 1 comma 1 is like this point. So these graphs are basically made like these. If you plug in more values, you will get a graph like this. Now moving on to the next part, it says y is equals to 4x, 4 raised to power x. This is an exponential graph. Once again, we'll just use values 0 1 2. Alright, so when we plug in 0, any number raised to the power 0 is 1. When we plug in 1, we get 4, and when we plug in 2, 4 raised to power 2, it's 16. 4 squared is 16. So 0 comma 1 is over here. 0 comma 1 is over here. 1 comma 4 is over here, up there. 2 comma 16 is further up there. So you will basically have a graph like this, exponential graph. Alright, moving on to question number 22. It says a bag of rice has a mass of 25 kg. Correct to the nearest kilogram. Alright, correct to the nearest kilogram basically means 1 kilogram. Calculate the lower bound of the total mass of 10 of these bags. So simply 1 divided by 2. Whenever you have a lower bound or upper bound, you divide it by 2, so that is 0.5. Since we want to calculate the lower bound, what we will do, 10 multiplied by 25 minus 0.5. So it turns out to be 10 multiplied by 24.5, which is 245. So it's 245 kg. Now moving on to the next question, says Virat has 200 meters of wire, correct to the nearest meter. Then again 1 upon 2, 0.5 meter. He cuts the wire into n pieces of length 3. We don't know the number of pieces. Correct to the nearest 20 centimeter. Calculate the largest possible value of n. So in order to have the largest possible value of n, basically it means that we will take the upper bound of the 200 meter wire, and we will take the lower bound of the smaller pieces cut. So for example, if the numerator is higher and the denominator is lower, then you will get the highest value. So this is going to be 200 minus 0.5 plus 0.5, which is 200.5. Now we will take lower bound of this wire. Alright, so basically 20 centimeters, first of all you will convert it into meters, and then it is going to be 0.2, and then since it says correct to the nearest 20 centimeters, alright, correct to the nearest 20 centimeters, you will multiply this with 1 upon 2, so you get 0.1. So you cut the wire into n pieces of 3 meter. So alright, so you will take the lower bound, so divide by 3 minus 0.1, which is 2.9, and when you divide both of them you get 69.137, so the answer is 69. Alright, so that's the largest possible value of n. Moving on to question number 23, it is saying that the diagram shows a pyramid with a rectangle where it's calculate the angle that VC makes with the base. So basically they are asking this angle. Alright, first and foremost, for this angle we need this, right? So first of all we will find this. If I make a diagram, if I make a right angle triangle like this, A, B, C, this side is 12 and this side is 10. Alright, so that way I will be able to find AC by using Pythagoras theorem. So this is going to be under root 12 square plus 10 square. Alright, so under root 12 square plus 10 square is actually 15.62. Alright, so basically this whole length is 15.62, this whole length, right? I want just half of it, so I will divide it by 2. Divide this by 2, so you get under root 61. Now you will use this under root 61, make a right angle triangle like this, VCM. This side is under root 61 and this side is 14. Find this angle. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Hypotenuse and adjacent, it comes in cos, so we will use cos C is equal to ka, adjacent, which is under root 61, upon hypotenuse, which is 14. C is equal to cos inverse under root 61 upon 14, and that will give you your answer. Simple. Moving on to question 24, it says a curve has equation y is equals to x cubed minus 22x squared plus 5. Find the coordinates of its stationary point. First of all, you will do dy over dx, stationary point. So this becomes 3x squared minus 2 2 is 4, 4x. Alright. Now always remember, at stationary point gradient is always 0. At stationary point gradient is 0. So dy over dx is equals to 0 at this point. So that means 3x squared minus 4x is equals to 0. So you will get the two values of x. Take x as common, it becomes 3x minus 4 is equals to 0. X is equals to 0, and the other value of x is equals to 4 upon 3. Right? Now it says find the coordinates of its stationary point, right? So now you will just plug it into the equation and find the values for y. Y is equals to x cubed minus 2x squared plus 5. So just plug in 0 because first value is 0. So 0 minus 2 multiplied with 0 is also 0 plus 5. So y is equals to 5. And then you will plug 4 upon 3. Y is equals to 4 upon 3 cube minus 2 multiplied by 4 upon 3 square plus 5. So the answer will be 103 upon 27. So finally I will just write down the equations. 0, 5 and 4 upon 3, 103 upon 27. So hope you guys enjoyed the class, and if you have any comments, please do mention them in the comment section below. Looking forward towards making videos like this for your help. Take care. Allah Hafiz.